Everybody, welcome to the We'll See You Later podcast, episode 61, brought to you by Happy's Energy and Nutrition. The best energy and nutrition on this or any other planet is William Ray Bakalikis. My friends call me asshole, so you can call me Willie Ray. Who are you? I mean, what are we
I'm
doing?
Jeremy. Most people just call me Jeremy, so you can call me whatever. But glad you guys could join us today. It's time. This week is tough weeks for Will and I as human beings every single year. We're brothers here. Everything that we do, and it just so happens that it makes perfect sense that our kind of biggest traumas in our life are in the same week.
Yeah, no trouble believing that it was a God thing all those years ago, because we'll tie it all together at some point. But yeah, it makes sense, and I'm in.
Yeah, guys. So hopefully we don't get too emotional with you guys, but I already know that I'm going to. So
right, me too.
July 31st, 2 years ago, 2023, I lost my dad, and it was not expected. I was actually in a different state with a company called Herbalife, and we were walking across the stage. That morning, I got a call that my dad might be put on a ventilator. And ventilator and life support are the exact same thing, but they are worded very differently. And that was a possibility. And still fine, so we thought. And he got progressively worse throughout the day that I didn't know. And so I'm on the Spurs stadium. I'm walking across the stage with my, at the time, now wife, and biggest moment in our life for our business. And down, and not 10 minutes later, I get a call that my dad has been put on life support, and then I need to come home. And the doctor had to tell me because my mom was crying. And so we leave immediately. And we were surrounded by some good friends who actually left the event with us to try to help us, offered to give us airfare to get back home. And my brain was so scrambled. I was like, no, I need to get in the car and I got to go. And we drove 8 or 9 hours all the way back. And, by that time my dad was already under, not in good shape. He woke up a couple times, squeezed my hand one time, nodded that he could see me, even though he was on every, fentanyl concoction they could put on him. And he passed away, and it was rough. It was my first experience with a death of as an adult. And not only that, it's my dad, so it's the guy who I might not have been the closest with yet. We were getting there, but the person is like Superman to you. To see him the way that he was, and then to have all these people come in, and you're just thinking that they're going to get up and wake up, and all these people are coming in and saying their goodbyes and leaving. And then after it's all said and done, they take the tube out of my dad, and, he lasted a couple minutes. And I get when people are like, well, at least you got to be there. But I think it's two different traumas. If you're there experiencing it, you can't save them. So you have to watch it, and you feel so helpless. If you're not there, you feel guilty for not being there, and you missed out and they died alone. They didn't, but it's just two different traumas. And so I was the last one to stay in the room. I couldn't leave, but the best thing, he's not here anymore. Let's go home. And it was rough. It was very rough. I've never experienced anything like that. I've never seen death actually, like firsthand either. I will say that we didn't have the moment of like, oh, like you saw his spirit leave. I will say that the energy left the room. Like, it was weird. I've never experienced anything like that, to where their last breath and you hear the beep on the monitor and you're just like, oh my gosh, it's over. It felt so silent and empty in the room. Like, you could tell something had shifted. And yeah, from then, it's been a rough go. Like I said, we weren't the closest growing up. My dad was a hard ass military guy, and I was a sports sarcastic kid. And so we butted heads a lot. Probably count on my hands. I probably said I hate him more than I loved him, to be honest with you, growing up. So
I'm laughing because the memories are flooding.
Yeah.
Back.
An episode is not just meant to go off my father's death. It is, and him, because some of you guys don't know, "We'll see you later" was the last thing that my dad said to me on the telephone. I remember our last conversation very well. We were actually talking about MJF and wrestling.
Great job in Happy Gilmore too, by the way.
Yeah. We forgot to meet him. I would actually say that, like my dad in the hospital told me, like, we were on the phone and he had just watched AEW, and this is 2 years ago. I think he's man at the time, like the man. And he's about to do his contract, the bidding war of 2024. And he did his pipe bomb and all this stuff. And my dad, you watch AEW? I said, I did not. And he was like, MJF just did. And he was explaining everything. And I was like, I think he is the modern day Ric Flair. Like, that's where he can go with it. And then after that, I said, you better watch yourself. That little blonde lady is trying to kill you. And he said, shit, I know it. And then my dad's famous line all the time was, all right, man, we'll see you later. Like, always.
All the time.
We'll see you later, man. All the time.
All the time.
Never said, like, love you, bye. It was always, we'll see you later, man. Or, hey, man, all right, see you later. And that was it. Hey, man, we'll see you later. And that was the last thing I ever heard from him, words-wise. And, the hardest part, I think, is my mom. Like, we talk more and more about it. And she's opened up a whole lot. But say goodbye and never get to say she loved him, because in that moment of panic,
brother,
it wasn't, and there was no question, but for her,
yeah, I know, but I mean,
it's hard.
Shit, man. Like, I've never ever seen one human love another more.
No.
So, like, I would be the first one to say, Todd Wilson or no other human, me and the type of love that you get from Tammy Wilson.
Not at all.
So he knew,
right?
He knew,
and so, we had the funeral, and I got to say something. And after this, guys, this whole episode is just dedicated to people that we've lost that are very important to us, both of us. And this is why we started this. That's the name of the podcast. I have it tattooed on my leg. But I said something at my dad's funeral that I wanted to read, because I do read this often. I didn't want to read this at the funeral, to be honest with you. Sure, I sent him what I would like for him to read at my dad's funeral. Funerals are hard.
Yeah, they suck.
I don't want to.
There's no other way to. They suck,
especially when the funeral is kind of like about you and your family. Like, it's so hard not to lose it in front of everybody.
Yeah,
you're trying to be strong. Supposed to hug you and love on you.
Everybody's trying to help.
Yeah,
they can't, and they know it. So all they know to do is hug you and say they love you.
Right, and so
I can attest to it. I was one of the people. Like,
right,
and
so it's difficult.
Yeah.
And so my pastor said, I think that you should read it if you can. And hated every second of it, but I did. And for those of you who weren't there, this is my description of my father. And so the guy that helped create this podcast, this is the step into his world, because me and him are completely opposite. My dad was a simple man. He loved his dogs, his wife, his family, music, and adventure. And if you ask him, it's probably in that order. He was a man of very few words, unless you were me or my brother. In that case, there were a lot of ass chewings, which we probably deserved. I used to hate those ass chewings as a kid, but now I realize he was just trying to make us men, and I wouldn't be the man I am today without him. I would do anything for one more ass chewing, if I'm being honest. But when he spoke, it was powerful. If you were lucky enough for my dad to like you, he would joke or pick at you. That sarcastic humor is something that I'll never forget. Things like when my wife, Carrie, or my sister-in-law, Megan, would walk in a room, he would say, "Don't worry, we're safe, everybody. She's a nurse." Or counting with me every time my mom would repeat herself, just to laugh about it. Or asking you to touch a spark plug to see if it still works. That was my dad. He didn't ask for much. Things like, "Hey, Tammy, can you make me a sandwich and sweet tea?" What time the race came on. Hell, I never answered his question of where's the 3/8, to which I got my ass whooped. He would ask you if you wanted to go somewhere, but you couldn't ask where and when you'd be back. And he would always take a back road. I'm still convinced that my father was a human GPS for the back roads. He didn't say I love you very often, so when he did, they were special. Instead, he showed you his love by what my wife says, trinkets. My dad was a giver. If he gave you a trinket, to hold it dearly, because in that moment he thought about you and wanted you to know that he loved you. The best thing I can take from my dad was he was the definition of not giving a shit what people think. He lived his life how he wanted to. In this life, we get distracted and discouraged. If you can take something from my dad, it's that what really matters are the people in the room and creating moments with them. To my mom, for years, you've been the best shotgun rider a man could ask for. You and Rufus and my dad have shared so many roads together. I know our lives may be different now. With his physical body not being here, his spirit very much is here. And I know Dad is happy to now be your shotgun rider for the rest of your days. Remember, he's always got you. I should probably go sit down now because I can hear him saying now, stop that crying or I'll give you something to cry about. So for the last time, Dad, I'll see you later, man.
I hate you. Oh, man. I gotta say, it's even more powerful now than it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We'll just sit here and hear that. That's going in the time capsule for me. Like it's an honor to have been a part of what just happened. That was really cool. Shout out Rufus in the world though.
These 2 years, man, I've learned that time is everything. So to break it down, like 2 years, it's been 730 days, 17,520 hours, 1,051,920 minutes, 63,115,200 seconds. And not a day goes by that you're not a mention or a thought. It's a joke, the sarcasm, the trinkets that are surrounding, or just the grin that he would smirk at you.
He knew he got you too. Like he was always up to something.
All important thing is just your presence. It's so missed. Alive here, but the physical presence is just so missed. And to be honest with you, my dad didn't walk into a room and command it. He hid in the corner. He was not the centerpiece of the room.
No, but
his energy
it meant a lot to the people. Like there were people who walked in that room that sought him out.
Yeah.
And those were the people that he wanted to deal with anyway.
Yeah.
He wasn't gonna make himself known and try to be your friend. Like that wasn't Todd.
No.
Worth the time you would put the effort in. And I always took a lot of pride, and I think that I never heard it because God knows he didn't like giving compliments.
No.
But I never heard it. But I like to think that if my name ever came up when I wasn't around, he would, okay.
Yeah.
You know, like in the room, it'd be, what the hell do you want?
Right.
You know, like I love the guy so much. What can be said about your mother? You're a longtime listener to this podcast. You understand that, you know, Tammy Wilson is not just Jeremy's hero. She's one of mine too.
Yeah.
But we need to take time to shout out your wife, Carrie, in this situation, because I saw a shift in Todd.
Yeah.
Clear that Carrie was around for the long haul. There was an opening in Todd that everybody benefited from because of your wife.
Yeah. They bantered more than anybody I've ever seen outside of our family banter. Cool thing that my mom told me and said, he passed, told her, I don't worry about Jeremy because he got it right.
That was the feeling that we all got, was he benefited from Carrie showing up because we got to see that fun side of Todd that we all knew was in there.
Yeah.
It was really seldom before her, and we saw a lot more of it. He was comfortable. He was happy.
Right. We got the cool honor and pleasure of getting to take my mom. My mom can't swim for nothing, but she loves the ocean and the sound.
That makes three of us.
I can't, but she loves the ocean. And so when her and my dad would go on trips, he would like stop for like 30 minutes for her to take pictures and go look at the sand. And then they're gone, right? 5 years ago, vacation in Alabama, get this condo and they're coming. And so they come down for 4 days to see, you know, my mom got to go on the beach. It was incredible. We started playing putt-putt. You don't have anything to do once you get to the beach. Like you're out there, you're eating. What do we go do? We went to go play putt-putt. And my dad, he had really bad arthritis. His fingers were locking up. His feet were locking up. And that's ultimately what killed him, was arthritis of the lungs. And if anybody has any questions, I'm very open to talk about it. But he grabs a putter. I have not seen my dad play a game in 10 years. Like, he didn't play games. No, y'all go ahead. And he just hang out. He grabs a putter. I played, and it was weird. And then me and Carrie like to play and push and, pick and whatever. And we were walking out. It's so wild. We were walking back to our condo, and me and Carrie were behind them. And they were giggling and stuff, and it was weird. Like, weird.
You remember what you said to me?
No.
I'll never forget it.
Boy.
So you called me shortly after that happened. Like, why is he calling me? Like, I knew you were on vacation.
Yeah.
I love you, but if I'm on vacation and you're not there, I'm not calling you.
Right.
Call me and you go, bro, it's wild. And I go, and he goes, they're flirting with one another. And I don't know how to feel about it.
It was strange.
And I was just like, wait a minute. Todd?
Yeah.
Like, that's immediately, I was like,
they were walking 5 feet in front of us. He puts his arm around her. She puts his arm around him. And it was literally like, what the hell? Old hands, nothing like that. And then he kind of gave her when she said something, he gave her a little shove. And my mom's grinning ear to ear, and they're just laughing. I looked at Carrie. I said, I've never seen this in my life. Well, it was the proudest.
You've seen it one more time than I have, because I got the story, but I didn't see it. But it made my heart so happy.
Yeah, same. It was, and even my mom, we went walking on the beach later, and my dad was like, I ain't going down there in that damn sand. So her and I walked down there, and she even said it. She said that I haven't seen your father like this in a long time, and I really appreciate you sending us out here and making us come out here. And it was really cool. It was just a moment that, man, that's the reason why we came. Like, it was awesome. So you didn't many of those. I didn't get to see a lot of those, but it was just really cool that I've learned more about my father since he's passed than I did while he was alive. And that's the hard part.
But you know something, he would have wanted it. He kept to himself.
Yeah.
That's the way he would have wanted it. It's just figure out all this mushy shit when I'm not around, when I have to deal with it.
Right. So I've learned a lot about him, going through his stuff and talking to my mom and finding a bunch of pictures of him as a young guy.
Good looking dude too, by the way.
Man, he was. Little guy too, little 120, 30 pounder. I realized too, my dad being a hard ass, got along growing up. He was the car guy, military man. I was the goofball kid. And
this, because I love you. Stubborn ass Gene. It's identical.
Oh yeah. I've learned a lot more now.
It's identical. The zero back down, whether you're right or not.
Yeah.
100% Todd.
Oh yeah.
Like I've seen it from both sides, and you're Todd Wilson's son. I love you, but man, like when you get set on something,
it's all in.
It's Todd.
But
like almost every other character trait is Tammy. Hard-headedness is 100% your dad, and it's a good quality to have.
Oh yeah, get you in trouble.
Don't mistake the kindness for weakness, because there's something in there. And I've always respected it, and like I respected the hell out of your dad, because I never once had to wonder, man, what's Todd thinking? Like he would tell me whether I wanted to know it or not.
Oh yeah. No, he's so different. And so I've learned now as an adult, like I look back, his dad passed away when he was in high school. He was the youngest of 4. And then he turned into a military guy, went straight into the military at 18, went for 20 years. And the military taught him how to be a man. And then he was married before my mom had my brother and my sister. They got divorced, and then he met my mom for that. And then boom, here I come. His favorite word was ask your mama and no. Like that was it. Hey, can we go here? Ask your mama. I did. What'd she say? No. Okay, no. Like, or she said, ask you. No. Like, that's what it was. So, like, damn, this guy.
If it gets to me, it's a no.
Right. And so I was like, well, now that I learned it, I was like, the military, they had to be a man and a dad.
It like 100%. Like, and I've thought about that a lot. It 100% shaped him.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell. I had to guess. I think Todd went into the military not knowing exactly who he was.
Yeah.
And some structure. He got it. He bought into it hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, he did.
And what you got is that could have been a general.
Yeah.
Could have.
He ended up retiring in E8, which I don't know what everything means military-wise. I never got to really ask him and dig into it. I just know that he was a guy in the military after the wars. I don't know at the wars what he did, but like on the Air Force Base here, all the C-130s, he would cook and all that stuff would be put on the plane, and that's what would go.
Yeah, he bought into the look. I don't take orders from everybody, but the ones that I do take orders from, it's take orders from him. Yes sir, no sir.
Yeah.
It's very structured him and shaped him, and whatever you're picturing is exactly what he was.
Yeah.
And he made no apologies about it either.
We never got to dig into it. I wish we would have, like stories from, the military for him, because that's his life. But I got one that him and my mom talked about was at a note. Actually, I got some crazy stuff too, as I found some recordings of phone calls that he would call her from overseas, and he sounded, I swear to you, Will, I'll play you some. He sounds like Elvis. It's weird. Like my dad is a young man, totally different voice.
Was he a smoker?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, I never saw it, but I assume.
Yep, big time back in the day. Would smoke a pack a day, right? And ended up, whenever he went overseas, would ship him cigarettes in his boxes, right? Like he would
the real MVP,
because she would work at the grocery store, so she'd just ship him.
She probably saved a couple thousand lives by doing that.
He runs out, and she didn't send him one in time, so he went to the store to go buy a carton. Realized how much they were. Next phone call, he said, "How much you spend on these?" He never knew,
right?
And she told him. He said, "That's a lot of money." And she's like, "Yeah, but you say you want them, so I get them for you." He said, "We ain't spending no more. Quit." Well, a pack a day. And what made him stop was the price tag.
My guy just needed the right motivation.
The way that it stopped was just, it cost too much.
That's 100% Todd, man, because all he had to do was come to the realization that something was stupid and didn't make any damn sense, and I'm done with it. That's Todd. And that you guys talk about heads.
Yeah.
A lot of shit.
Oh, yeah.
For teenagers. And look, more often than not, I was there doing the same thing. We did a lot of shit that didn't make any damn sense.
Yeah.
So your mom, where she was the nurturer and, I love my boys and, y'all have fun. Your dad was like, that shit's stupid.
Yeah.
And that same bullheaded shit in you. So it's, you're stupid.
Yeah.
Word for word, but obviously that's the basis of all of it was.
Oh yeah.
New. Even back then, I was like, man, if these guys could just quit trying to have the last word against each other, they could realize like they're identical. They could be best friends. And, that's where we got,
Yeah. My mom a note. I remember this story. This is the only one I got.
I cut that story off.
It's okay. No, you're fine. That's where this is a wide open. If you got it, go with it. He wrote my mom a letter saying that they lived in this big barracks, and if you were new, they had tents outside, and it was like an honor system of when somebody left the barracks, someone in the tents would move in, and it was like an assembly line of moving in because we had more guys than we had beds inside. Mom a note saying that he was moving into the barracks next week. Here comes all over the news, the barracks has been hit by a bomb.
Oh shit.
So my dad, in my mom's mind, is possibly dead.
Yeah, why have I never heard this story?
I don't know. And that barracks got hit by a bomb, and somehow is at the commissary on the Air Force Base here. And the person who runs the commissary is like an ex high up in the military, and somehow, some way gets connected with bop, 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 bop. And she's on a phone thing. I don't know how this connection's happened, but it has happened.
It's time.
Out, is Todd alive?
Yeah.
And luckily he answers. And she says, "What the hell is happening?" And he said that last night, group came in and the other group was moving out, and it was 2 a.m. So we just told them, y'all move in. We'll switch in the morning. We're going to bed. And them moving in, and that morning, bomb hits and kills most of the people in the building.
That's crazy.
Right. And so Dad said tent doors got blown open. We're rushing, scrambling out, like wild. That's the only story I ever got from my dad about
and
the
it's
military.
the only one that matters because
this was fresh. Like, I'm a baby.
Oh.
My mom had me, and my dad left quick. Like, she lived on the Air Force Base.
Oof,
I would have never have known my father. And then as I got older, like we're like-minded, but we're not because our interests are different. And I think that's where our problem was. But I remember when we lost to Pine Bluff my senior year.
I wondered if you were going to tell this story.
I remember that day. I remember the bad more than I remember the good sometimes. And my dad, especially growing up.
Let's preface this by saying it was the game of your life.
It was. Best game I've ever played in the sport of football that actually counted.
I think I had a little bit to do with that. At this point, it's QB1.
I am.
And called in, and guys don't realize what it was like to play at Cabot High School, play football. 1981 to 2000, whenever he retired.
12 or 13.
Watching something out of the 1950s. The offense, not the wing tee, not the dead tee offense. And it was 3 yards in a cloud of dust every play. And if we ever threw, it was like the ground will get cold.
Yeah.
Hell froze over. Had one or two pass plays in this entire playbook. And all of them involved 1 to 2 routes where we're going to look here and then we're going to go here. Calls one of these genius pass plays, blanket it. Like it should happen when you've got one guy running out. You should have it covered. Back, throws the ball away. As you should. Needs to get his ass chewed out.
I did.
For throwing the ball away and
for minutes at a time.
Yeah, and just spitting everywhere. And it's like dude comes over and he comes up to me and he says, "Man, this guy, I don't know what to do. If I'd have thrown it into double coverage and it got picked off, he'd be bitching at me about it getting picked off. He's bitching at me about throwing it away. Maybe call better plays. Everything only just snapped." Because at this point, and this Pine Bluff team that we're playing is awful. We've played one of the worst first halves of football in the history of the game. Probably we're
down 27-0.
It was really bad, and we're on the comeback. We're playing up to our capability at this point. But I'm already I'm embarrassed that we're in this position, and I finally turned around and I grabbed you by the nape of your jersey and kind of pulled you in closer, and I said, "What in the
blankety blank?"
And you just kind of looked at me and I said, "We're about to get the ball back. Go out there and do something about it." The very next offensive snap is a read option right up the back of our star offensive lineman for 65 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah.
You're not fast, but that was as fast as I ever saw you move.
Yeah. Ran away from some people.
Yeah. And I kind of smiled because I knew what was coming afterward. I met you on the field. I'm on the field, we're chest bumping or whatever. And he goes, "I guess I did something about it." And I'm just like, yeah, I mean, it was a great effort to come back from a terrible first half. We were, like you said, we were down 27-28 nothing at halftime. And a couple missed extra points put us to where we had to go for 2 to try to tie the game. Didn't get in and still almost stripped the ball away and ended up pulling one out. But I mean, so that was not only just like a hard fought game. It was also senior night.
Yeah. It was our last game in that stadium.
So that was our last home game. And, we're all boo-hooing at the end of it. And we think we're going to have to pull off a miracle next week to get into the postseason. We'd already written this off as a win.
Yeah.
So in our eyes, our season could be over.
Right.
All that to say, very emotional night.
I'm bloodied. I'm bruised. I drive home, and as soon as I walk in the door, I mean, I'm limping. I'm emotional. My dad's sitting on his chair and he's laughing. He starts giggling. Got that ass whooped out there today, didn't you? I've never in my life wanted to punch my father in the face so hard. I literally I said, not tonight, Pop. And I took a shower. I didn't even shower at the stadium and just sat in my bed. But that was kind of our relationship in high school growing up. Like we just were so the same, but our interests were so different.
Yeah.
But I will say, I think my mom got into his ass that evening because at Russellville, he didn't go to away games. He went to Russellville. And my mom had custom jerseys made that had number 12 on it. And my dad wore that jersey to that game. And it was the first time I can remember that my dad, like when I looked at him, I was like, he's kind of like, you get that moment of like, he's proud of me.
Yeah, it was a really big deal and an absolutely incredible game, absolutely incredible finish. There are stories that we still tell and laugh like we've never heard it before, strictly from that game in Russellville. And if there was ever a day where I think all of the parents from that team kind of came together where, damn, we're proud of these kids, it was that one.
Yeah.
That 2-week period, I think the way your mom reacted to the way he reacted about the Pine Bluff game kind of shook his cage a little bit.
Yeah.
To where it was, dude, like he's working harder than he's ever worked in his life.
Yeah.
And he's looking to you for just a little bit of support.
He shows up next week with the jersey on, comes out, gives me a hug, after we win. But that was kind of my relationship with him.
That
it wasn't
was a
always
fun 2-hour bus ride home.
It was. From there, to be honest with you, I got married and divorced younger in my life. And the divorce is what brought me and my father together. That's why I have the ring on the necklace, because he had a divorce and like we finally understood each other. It was the wildest we get each other moment I've ever experienced. Like we understand each other because of pain.
Yeah, and I think it hurt him, but that he knew how much it hurt and that you were going through it. And that's where Todd kind of excelled. He didn't do good with like kidding around stuff.
No.
But if it was grown man stuff and you needed some real advice, he had it. He was wise.
Oh yeah. Like the moment was whenever I was getting married, he gave me his dad's ring. That was the moment I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And then when he gave me the ring, my mom gave me her dad's ring. So those were my 2 wedding rings. I would rotate them. Whenever I was getting divorced, I gave it back. And that's when he said no. And like we had this moment. So that's why it's on my neck. And that was a moment for us, which I never really thought about until as you get older. But then we started getting closer, slowly but surely, had real good conversations. He actually started to like sports and was talking about football, baseball, basketball.
And the shit that's important to you and you think is always going to be important to you at 18, 21, 25, it's just here for a minute.
Right.
We all end up getting to the same place where it's, you look back and you go, why did we even care?
Right.
Why was that even a thing? And it turns to, like you said, moments, making each other laugh. Because your dad was always a funny guy.
Yeah.
He always had like comedic timing.
We called her, my mom, we coined the phrase for her, Tammy Three-Peat.
Bless your heart.
So Tammy Three-Peat is, she would come in and say the same thing 3 times in a row. And my dad, once I called, I was like, Mom, why do you say everything 3 times? She goes, I don't. And then my dad goes, hell, you do. And like, we're on the same page.
And you can tell he's been waiting for a really long time for somebody else to notice.
When she'd be telling me something, he'd be sitting there because my mom would sit on the couch in the middle. I'd sit on one side of the chair. He'd sit on the other side of his chair. We'd have conversations. She'd be looking at you, telling you the story, and she's repeating it. And every time she would repeat, you'd see my dad go. And like, I'm trying to focus on my mom, and he's just counting how many times. And then after he was done, he goes, hell, you going to tell him the 4th time? He got it, babe. And like, it was all the time. It was all the time.
What a jackass.
So he constantly it got better over time. But Tammy Three-Peat. So my dad also, weird obsession. It has to be because of the cigarettes. Suckers.
Yeah.
Has to be. He was a blow pop guy. I never knew this. Like, so I had to order him special, like on Amazon. He was like, we were talking and he was like, y'all remember? And it was a special branded sucker that he was like, man, I ain't had them in forever. I was like, you like those? And he's like, loved them. So I found them on Amazon and I ordered them, sent them to him. I got pictures of that man. He has the whole bucket sitting on his chair, like and he's just downing them.
And I think
I never knew he was a blow pop guy.
he was always kind of childish in that way when it came to like sweets and candy, though. Like, but I think you're right. Probably the cigarettes that
hand to mouth,
the sugar curbed the cravings, but then you just got used to it.
Yeah,
where it's like you kind of had like your body gets used to it. You kind of have to have it, but hand to mouth type stuff. We're both very open about the fact that we're believers.
Yeah,
we're Christian. We know in our heart of hearts. Your dad, you touched on it, but I don't think you gave him enough credit for just what a tough bastard he was.
Oh,
because he was always dealing with something.
Yeah,
physically, he was always dealing with something. Something was always hurting.
Yes,
and you never saw him complain. You might have saw him heard him grunt, seen him grimace a couple of times, but that would be the extent of it. I can't wait till we're up there one day and I can see what able-bodied Todd Wilson, like what kind of shit we're getting into up there.
Oh yeah. No, what people don't get, like when they say their people are tough, this guy was on a different level.
Everything hurt all the time.
Like, I'm not even joking. These are true things. 3 instances. My dad, I remember this happening. I was inside. He cut off half of the top of his finger. I'm talking bone out, blood everywhere. He was cutting with a saw, something in the ground. He's always doing shit. Cuts the top of his finger off, splits it, picks that finger up, puts it in his pocket, puts a rag around his finger and yells, "Tammy!" She goes, "What? We gotta go to the hospital real quick." "Why?" Pulled the rag off and his fingers, just bone. And he goes, "Cut my damn finger off." "Where is it?" "It's in my pocket. Let's go." They go to the hospital. They sew that damn thing on. It's like, it's brown now. Like, they sew it on. He's got this big thing on his hand, like this ungodly amount of gauze when he comes back. It's been 3 hours. He comes back. What's he do? Finishes what he was doing.
Yeah.
He went to the doctor. So my dad ended up having fibrosis of the lungs, which is arthritis of the lungs. And once it starts, they can't fix it. But he would go do checkups all the time. My dad was getting a checkup.
Like, what causes that?
It's just arthritis. Like, it literally goes into his lungs. Like, I don't know how, but it's rheumatoid arthritis, and it just happens. But fibrosis of the lungs is just your lungs technically honeycomb, and you suffocate. So my dad was there for tests and was doing all kinds of stuff. And it was to the point where they put metal rods in his toes to straighten his toes, and his toes still bent, and the rods went straight. And they had to remove them. Never said a word about that. Like, literally on the side of his toe, you can see a metal rod poking out. "How's your foot?" "It's all right." Like, it's stupid. He peed out, Will. I don't know if you've ever seen the picture.
Yeah.
A kidney stone that looked like a rock. Put it like this. They put the kidney stone next to a penny for comparison. A kidney stone.
Yeah,
they say the size of a freaking mustard seed will drop you to your knees. My dad didn't know he had a kidney stone. He was giving him a piss sample.
And it just plopped out.
The nurse heard tink into the toilet. And she said, "What was that?" "I don't know." They fished it out and put it next to a penny. The lady said, "Oh my God, that's a kidney stone." And like the picture, it is a jagged rock. It is not like it's this big. They put it in a jar and have like the doctors and like assistants circling the floor to look at this thing. And what is my dad doing when they come in there? I have a picture of it. He's doing a damn word search, sitting in bed. "How you feeling?" "Good." My father-in-law's had a kidney stone that was this big. Like, you couldn't even see how big it was. And he said it felt like it was going to kill him. It's just unreal. The level of pain tolerance he had. He was cutting again. And this is my dad. Once his hand started to go, he just figured out new ways to do stupid shit.
It was wild to watch.
And
it was.
He's cutting with another saw, and it catches. He has a knee replacement, by the way, and he's 2 inches away from effing up this whole knee replacement. And he cuts his leg wide open. It grabs his pants and pulls him in. It cuts him. Literally, it's like 30 staples and stitches on his leg. I have the picture of it. There's meat and fat hanging out of my dad's leg. My mom has to like pack his leg back in. They tourniquet it. My mom had to on the way. She drives him to the hospital, show him what's going on. They had to cut his $20 Sears Dickies off, his favorite jeans.
And he was pissed.
He was pissed. They said, "We got to get those jeans off of you." And he goes, "Hell no, you don't." He was mad that his $20 jeans, and they're like, "Sir, you have fat hanging out of your leg." He was more concerned. I was stupid. Working with the doctor when my dad passed, it was a very nice doctor. He's a younger guy. He said, "I knew we were in trouble I wish when people said that they have arthritis that they'd meet your dad because your dad had it. Like some people are like, oh, my arthritis. He goes, no, your dad had it. He said, every time I talked to him, I knew your dad was in pain, but he'd always throw out the number 3. 1 to 10. 3. He said, whenever we were on your dad's last few days, said 1 to 10, Todd, where are you at? And he said 7. And he said his 7 would have been my 50.
Yeah.
It's just hard to have those thoughts of like, this immortal human being is going to be down and out for the count here. It's tough to see the Superman, the asshole Superman that you have. But it's tough to see that happen to a person, especially someone like that. We have stories of, one of my best friends growing up was an idiot and listened to my dad and held a spark plug whenever we turned on the truck.
Hi, Patrick.
Patrick Galucky ran home and never trusted my father again. Tony Coleman was a very large kid growing up, and Bo, the dog, was a very large, fat weenie dog. It was a 30-pound weenie dog. Yeah, he's on steroids. And you could point and laugh at that dog, and my dad would get him, and that dog would chase your ass. And everybody could outrun Tony, so Tony was always screwed. And we were outside, and we were laughing, and we all would run and jump on the trampoline for safety.
Not everybody could outrun him.
And
But Bo loved me. So.
Tony went to run onto the trampoline, and he could not jump on the trampoline fast enough, and Bo grabbed his shin and locked on. And as Tony went up, so did Bo onto the trampoline, locked onto Tony's leg. Tony got him off. Tony's leg is purple. It's bleeding. My dad is dying out laughing at Tony. Shouldn't be messing with my damn dog. There's just little moments of him doing that. He got a paintball gun one day on their Tippmann 98 Custom. And we have storage, little sheds out back. We had 2 or 3 of them. And my dad said, we got to test this thing out. I'm like, how do we do that? He handed me the mask and told me to run across the backyard, and he's going to shoot it at me. I had to dodge paintballs to test out if the paintball gun worked. By the way, it did. I was hit quite a few times.
Can you imagine? Hey, bring Jeremy in here. Bring that damn kid in here. We're going to see if this works or not.
He was sitting out back. Pop, 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 pop. It was there were so many funny stories. There's a whole bunch of funny stories that we have. But I'll tell you this, though. As he got older, he showed up for everything.
There was only one, and I count myself lucky to say that I knew the guy.
Yeah.
Todd had a million acquaintances through his life because he was always gone and doing something.
Yeah.
I bet he had somebody that he remembered by name in just about every state.
Probably.
But there were very few people who I felt like got into his good graces and that he was like, hey, you're welcome at my table.
Yeah.
I always felt welcome there, and I always felt like I was the guy that could kind of look at him and go, you're full of shit, knock it off.
Yeah.
And he would just, and it just, I'm not trying to compare because nothing compares. I mean, I miss the dude, man. I do.
Yeah.
And I see all his good in you. What's hilarious to me is that this damn thing's named after him. That dude wouldn't be able to tell you what a podcast was. And he would look at you and go, what the hell, And it's just funny to me that his legacy's carried on by a podcast.
I had a dream about him. Did I tell you that? This is it for me. My dad and my mom were big ghost hunter people, right? They loved the paranormal, fun stuff, ghosty things. I love it too. I love the shows, but they tried to make an agreement of like, if I can tell you I'm here, I'm going to try. Like if there's a way, I'm going to try. And so my dad bought this little cat ball toy that the paranormal people use, and you can turn it on and you set it down. And this ball, if it's touched or a loud noise happens or it moves, it lights up. So they would put them around the room and say, if you touch this ball or clap or do a noise next to it, it will light up and tell us that you're there. My mom turned that ball on every day. Nothing. Put it right next to his chair, set it down. Nothing. I got a video, but it's 1 month on the day, August 23. And she's talking and the ball goes off. And asking questions, and the ball is going off. I knew it was my dad because the ball kept going off, and I'm like, something's happening. Then she said, I'll tell the boys that you said hi. Didn't light up. I said, he ain't here for us, that old ass. He was here for you, mama.
Well, and here's the thing is like, You know why it took a month? He was up there peddling around,
Well,
getting into stuff.
Still trying. Oh, I say he was trying to convince him to let him in.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was going to try to be not. I mean, that probably took a couple of weeks Earth time. I would imagine that, you know, the slideshow that plays in front of us, I would imagine his was long.
Yeah. But he, 1 month on the day the ball is going off, and it goes off periodically for her now, but not, you know, she doesn't do it near as much. Watching the video, I was like, man, I want to have a conversation with my dad. Like, I'm a picture person. And so I see my dad in heaven and I see him in hell. Like I see them both. Can you help me with the clarification, please? Because we didn't talk about faith with my dad a whole lot. Quiet, private guy. It's like, can you just show me something like small? I'm not asking for anything leaps and bounds. Like, can you just tell me you're okay and then I'm good? I don't need anything else from you. Man, I never got it. And one night, Will, I've only had this happen to me one time in the 2 years. I had a dream and I was in heaven swimming in the clouds, and I see my father in the clouds at a dinner table in a white suit. And this is the young Todd, the healthy Todd. I don't know this Todd. Like he's 20 something, young guy.
Right.
What I see in the pictures, and he's sitting at the end of the table and he's looking to his right. He's at the end and I'm coming this way and I'm yelling at him, Dad, Dad, Dad. Hey. He's not looking at me. He's just looking down the table. And out of nowhere, he looks at me and we make eye contact. And he says nothing. He just grins. And that's it. And I wake up and I tell nobody this. My mom, sit down and we're having a conversation and we're talking about missing him. And she said, I had a dream about him the other day. And I said, oh, yeah? And she said, yeah, we were at a diner and we were in the car. And this lady, she's like, I didn't know we were together, but this lady comes up, hands us our food, and it's 2 drinks and all that stuff. And she said, I grab it and I don't know what to do. And the lady says, you two look cute together. And she says, she turns and looks. And there's my dad. Young, says nothing to her. She says, I'm not ready to let you go yet. And he shook his head and he just did the little grin. I then tell her my dream and I describe what he looked like. She says she sees the same guy. It was a young 20 to 30-year-old Todd. I've never had a dream about my father since. I've never had a sign. I feel as if that was it.
That was him saying, I'm okay.
Good. Yeah.
Like, it's so great up here. I don't want to come back.
So it was my clarification. My mom has a lot more things happen at her house. I've never seen anything ever since, but she has a lot of things happen that she can't really explain, that she just says, you know, it's just your dad coming and checking up on us. It was weird. I asked for a sign and I feel like I got it.
I love you, man. And I'm proud of you. And I know that he is too. Cool thing about the name of this podcast, you'll see him later.
Yeah, for sure. I know that I cannot do this podcast, this episode. I know it's mainly based off my dad because the name, and it's 2 years. But my brother's hurting too.
A lot.
It's not just my dad missing. Seems like yesterday.
We've hit double digits. It was 10 years ago.
So 10 years ago, Will had a pretty traumatic experience in his life. And
probably the most impactful thing that has ever happened to me, because I know that I love harder because of this.
Yeah.
10 years ago, I lost my uncle. Jeremy could probably do a better job of describing our relationship than I could, because it's
more like brothers.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the oldest of 4 children, but my aunts and my uncles were always my big brother. And there was nothing like Angelo. He was maybe 14 years older than me. Growing up, he was the guy that was older than me, but also close enough in age where I felt like I was hanging out with the grown-ups. We could hang, you know, we would play video games together. We would laugh together. God, will we laugh together, get Will and Ange together, and they'll be cackling and carrying on, and it'll just be a lot of fun. He was half of me. If I had a twin soul in another guy, it was Angelo.
Yeah.
There was a time period where I literally, the only reason I had a cell phone was to talk to this guy.
Yeah.
Texting nonstop, back when you had to pay to text, you know, and we would sit on the phone for hours just cutting up and laughing. He was my guy, my best friend. And I know that he had fallen on hard times before this happened. Now, I found out afterwards that the times were harder than even I thought. But I was at work. And oddly enough, I mean, like I said, God thing, it always works out that way. You and I were working at the same place at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a call from him, and it wasn't the usual tone. Can you come meet me at North Hills Country Club after work? I said, yeah, I get off at 6. I'll see you then. All right, come. It's very important. Let's just call it what it is. I knew that by this point he had something to drink by then. I remember it was a Tuesday because I remember thinking it's 1 o'clock on a Tuesday, man. So you actually dropped me off at North Hills to go and like, don't think twice about it. This is Will hanging out with Angelo. He'll be fine. From the minute I saw him, I knew something was different.
Yeah, he was off.
I'm not going to get into details because my family may watch this and I don't.
Oh, no.
We're just not going to. But he proceeds to lay out his plans to carry out what he ultimately carries out. And I could always get to him. I could. And I'm just thinking, and I'm, you know, but this was different. I knew, like, I'm not getting to him. He's serious about this. So I tried to stop him. Couldn't. It's been 10 years. I every now and then a day goes by where I almost don't think about it, but it's through a lot of, I never went to therapy. I probably should have. Then a lot of just self stuff. Anyway, so I make the 911 call from North Hills Country Club. Things proceed the way that they do, and he's no longer with us. Guys, mental health is real. Check on your people every single day, every chance that you get. Tell people that you love them, because this was the funnest human being I've ever been around in my life.
Yeah.
And it's the fun ones who are struggling the most. But I will tell you how God works, because I've never publicly told this story, but the proof to me that God loved me in my darkest moment. Before I get to that, the first person I call after I get off the phone with my dad, and my dad told me what happened, I called Jeremy. Jeremy's over at my house in 5 minutes flat, just drops down, starts praying immediately. I'm snotting all over the place. It's an ugly scene.
I remember Blake didn't know what happened.
Yeah, my roommate at the time
He was sleeping.
dead asleep. It was in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
And the amount of anger that was in me from the time that this happened didn't dissipate for a while. I was angry. I was angry with everybody. I was angry with anybody that had the nerve to have a good day. I was angry with anybody that had the nerve to tell me I was going to be okay. Angry with God for letting this happen. Like, how could you put me in that position and not let me get through to him? You know, like, that's what I was there for. How could you let that happen? 6 months later, I've been talking to this girl that I met online. I was in a bad spot, man. I've been talking to this girl for a couple of weeks, and we've hung out a couple of times, and I can tell there's something special here. Like, this might be something, but she's literally the only good thing to me in the world right now. The only good thing I have of my day is if she'll text me, call me, come see me, whatever. We're sitting on the couch watching a movie, and my phone goes off, and Angelo is the background on my phone. And I go to respond to a text message, and I look at her, and she's ghost white. And I said, what's wrong? She said, didn't you say that you lost your uncle recently? I said, yeah. She said, is that him on your phone? I said, yeah. She proceeds to tell, my uncle lived at 20, like the house number 20 on his street. Her cousin lived at 19. 1 yard over, like, not like one little front yard over. She had been at her cousin's house that night and saw the policeman working the scenes. She proceeds to go out and bring water and food and everything to the cops that are working the scene. This is in July. Obviously, it's 100 and holy hell outside. And she walks back inside and says that she goes upstairs and prays to herself, says, God, I don't know this family, but I know they're hurting. And if there's anything that I can do to help, please lead me in the right direction. 6 months later, she's sitting on my couch. And at the end of August, we'll be married 7 years. God brought me my wife, man. That was setting the work to bring my wife into my life in the worst moment that I will ever have on this planet. The best thing that's ever happened to me was being set in motion. And God had every right to cast me aside during that time, because I was reprehensible and I was mad at him. I cursed him for this situation. How could you do that to me? How could you do that to his daughters? How could you do that to this family? And after a lot of reflection, I even if I beat myself up, I know I didn't have anything to do with it, but how could you make me go through the pain of facing my family and feeling like I let them down because I didn't stop this?
Yeah.
I encouraged him. Cast me aside. I'm done with you.
I know the feeling.
I'm done with you, man. The whole time. He was ignoring me and working behind the scenes. I'm going to make you believe and make you love me all over again. And it's through the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Yeah.
Jeremy, when I tell you I was an absolute basket case when I figured this out, I already knew that there was something special with this woman. This is a connection to him that you've been looking at. Here it is.
Here's your answer.
Here, it's supposed to be her. She was there when you were at your lowest and prayed for you before she even knew you. Guys, if you're out there going through it, it's cliche to say you're not alone, but man, like, you're talking to somebody who has laughed, who has loved, who has carried on a really happy life at times in the last 10 years with a hole in my heart. You were very eloquent. You counted off the seconds, minutes, days, months, years, all that stuff. I miss him every second.
Yeah.
And I catch myself going, it's not fair that he never met the most important person in the world to me now. But I think he ipso facto played a part in
making that happen.
Yeah. It doesn't make the hurt go away. With God, I'm tougher than the toughest day I'll ever face. Because if you'd have told me I'd be here happy 10 years later,
called you crazy.
No shot. In my mind, he was the guy that made me happy.
Yeah, he was a source.
You carry him with you and you adopt a new normal, and she's my why. Why am I able to live with it? Because it brought me my wife. Why do I not stay down in the dumps about it? Well, because she's there to pull me up.
Yeah.
If you're going through loss, if you're going through something, I can tell you that you will make it.
It's just going to be different.
Yeah, you will find joy again, and you will be happy that you fought through it.
I saw a guy too give some really good advice. Is when you get emotional about it, that's okay. And he says that is all the unexpressed love that you didn't get to share with them. That's what the emotion is.
1,000,000%.
So
I was not through making memories with him yet.
Exactly.
I was not through having fun with him yet.
Yeah.
And for those of you guys that are struggling with your mental health and you maybe feel like it's a better idea to just check out and not be here anymore, don't do that to your people. We want you here. We want to be able to laugh with you and make memories. Let me tell you something, guys. When I think about going to heaven, I think about him meeting me at the gate. That's what I look forward to. Heaven is not ready for the amount of fun that we are going to have. And to think that I haven't talked to this guy in 10 years, but I'm still here is incredible, because he was a lifeline for me, man. And, to everyone who stepped up, to everyone who's loved us through this, I've never forgotten it. And it's never been lost. To everybody who's ever loved us through it, we see you every time you're there.
Hug your people. Love your people. Man. Talk to your people. Here's the thing, too. If someone crosses your brain, call them.
As long as I live, I will be the guy who checks in, who sends random, hey, love you, brother. I will be the guy who goes above and beyond. No one I care about will ever leave this earth again questioning whether I love them or not. I'm not going to have somebody leave this earth and not know that Will loved them.
Right. I know that this episode's been sad and emotional.
If you listen to our last few episodes, you knew that we were planning on doing this for Todd.
Yeah.
And there was never a plan to come in and tell my story, but it's been the elephant in the room for the past. You've been dealing with me being irrational for about a week and a half now. It was a big number. 10 years is a big number.
For sure. All we can say is we love you.
Absolutely.
Time is priceless. Enjoy it. Don't get caught up in all the frou-frou and the
BS. What matters most is loving on people and being there for one another and celebrating each other the best that you can, because one day you're not going to be able to. And that's all you're going to think about. Man, the 3 things to live by before we get out of here is number 1, just be grateful. Number 2, love on everybody you can.
Number 3, never, ever, ever trust a fart. I mean, no matter how heavy it gets, like, that's important. And until next time, guys.
We'll see you later.